Have you ever stared at a checkout screen for something cheap and felt your chest tighten? You tell yourself it's not even expensive, yet your finger hesitates. You reread reviews, you calculate, you imagine future regret, and suddenly a small purchase feels heavy. This isn't about money, it's about psychology. Here's the psychology of people who overthink every purchase, even the smallest ones. 1. Your brain experiences spending as a threat, not a reward. Psychology calls this loss aversion. The human brain is wired to protect resources, not enjoy them. When you spend money, your mind doesn't focus on what you gain, it focuses on what disappears. Even $5 triggers the same mental alarm as a much larger loss, just quieter. A subtle tension, a pause. Your brain whispers, what if this was a mistake? What if you regret it? For overthinkers, spending feels final, like crossing a line you can't uncross. That's why small purchases feel oddly intense. Your brain reacts to the act of spending, not the amount. 2. You don't buy things. You evaluate yourself through them. For many people, money decisions are deeply tied to identity. Every purchase becomes a reflection of who you are, responsible or careless, disciplined or impulsive, smart or naive. This is common in people with high self-awareness and perfectionist tendencies. You don't just ask, do I want this? You ask, what does this say about me? And that internal judgment creates pressure. Buying something unnecessary can feel like a personal failure, even if no one else would care. So you hesitate, not because of the item, but because of the meaning attached to it. 3. Your nervous system learned that spending equals danger. Overthinking purchases often comes from early conditioning. Maybe you grew up hearing, be careful with money. Do you really need that? We can't afford mistakes. Even if your life is stable now, your nervous system remembers. Psychology calls this learned financial anxiety. Your body reacts before logic kicks in. That tight feeling? That's not rational thought. That's a stored emotional response. Your brain learned spending leads to stress. So now it protects you, even when protection isn't needed. 4. You simulate regret before it happens. This is known as anticipatory regret. Your brain runs mental simulations of the future. What if you don't use it? What if it breaks? What if you find a better option later? People who overthink purchases are often intelligent, analytical, and emotionally aware. Their minds don't stay in the present. They time travel. The problem is, the brain treats imagined regret almost like real regret, so you feel bad before anything bad has happened, and that makes every decision feel risky. 5. You crave certainty in a world that doesn't offer it. Every purchase is a gamble, no matter how small. Will it be worth it? Will you enjoy it? Will it last? For people who value certainty and control, this is uncomfortable. Overthinking purchases is often linked to high conscientiousness and control-oriented personalities. You like knowing outcomes. You like minimizing mistakes. Spending money removes certainty, even briefly, so your mind slows everything down, checks every angle, looks for guarantees that don't exist. 6. You associate money with safety, not pleasure. Some people see money as a tool for enjoyment. Others see it as a shield. If you overthink purchases, money likely represents security to you, stability, independence, safety from future stress. Spending, even small amounts, can feel like weakening that shield. Your brain isn't asking, will this make me happy? It's asking, will this make me unsafe? And safety always wins. 7. You're highly sensitive to opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the psychological awareness of what you could do instead. Most people ignore it. Overthinkers don't. When you consider buying something, your brain immediately lists alternatives. That money could go to savings, or something more useful, or something better later. This creates decision paralysis. The more intelligent and future-focused you are, the louder this mental noise becomes. 8. You hold yourself to higher standards than others. Notice something interesting. You probably don't judge other people's spending nearly as harshly as your own. That's because overthinkers internalize responsibility. You expect yourself to be careful, measured, optimized. So when you consider a small indulgence, it feels undeserved. Psychologically, this is linked to self-discipline mixed with self-criticism. You're not cheap. You're hard on yourself. 9. Small purchases feel symbolic, not small. Tiny decisions feel big because they represent patterns. You worry, if I spend now, will I keep spending? Does this mean I'm losing control? Your brain doesn't see a $5 purchase. It sees a slippery slope. This is why you can make big financial decisions calmly, but freeze over small ones. Big decisions feel intentional. Small ones feel impulsive, and impulsivity scares you. 10. You confuse mindfulness with overthinking. Being thoughtful is a strength, but when thought turns into anxiety, it stops serving you. Overthinking purchases often masquerades as responsibility, but deep down, it's fear of making the wrong move. Psychology reminds us, not every decision needs optimization. Some just need permission. Here's the truth. Most people never say out loud, people who overthink purchases aren't bad with money. They're usually excellent with it. They're cautious, self-aware, future-oriented. But when awareness becomes pressure, peace disappears. Life isn't meant to be a constant cost-benefit analysis. Sometimes, buying the small thing isn't about the object. It's about telling your nervous system, I'm safe, I'm allowed, I don't need to earn every comfort. If this felt uncomfortably accurate, that's because you're not broken. You're just thoughtful in a world that rewards constant restraint. And sometimes, the healthiest choice isn't saving more, it's letting go. If this resonated with you, subscribe for more psychology that explains the quiet behaviors no one talks about, but almost everyone lives with.